This week on Pole House Black Pot Weekend Getaways, we're continuing our sweets from around the world with what's on the menu?
German stolen bread.
So stick around. This is Wade and I'm Angel, and this is Iris, and we are Pole House Black Pots Weekend Getaways, where we show you all things yummy to cook in cast iron as we visit different places.
Welcome to another front porch cooking for
holiday sweets around the world.
This is week
four
of a 5-week series.
And we want to say Merry Christmas to everybody out there.
It's Christmas week, yeah.
Yep, it'll be Christmas week, hence why we're red and green.
Leslie got these for us last year for Christmas.
She did. So anyways, we're fixing German. We're going German again, aren't we?
Yeah, and it's pretty popular. A lot of you probably heard of it. And what is it?
I don't know if you guys have ever tasted it, but it's one of my favorite Christmas treats, and that's a Stollen. And yes, on it, it's going to have marzipan in it.
Yes, marzipan and marzipan. I don't know what the proper word is.
It's a candy that we'll
spell it down at the bottom.
Anna, who's a good German friend of ours, doesn't think it needs to have the marzipan, but I like it better with it.
We'll explain what that is when we get to it.
So we're going to get things around. We got to do a couple parts before we come back and mix up the bread. So we'll be back.
All right. So, in a medium bowl, we start with about 4 ounces of chopped almonds. To that, we add about 4 ounces of candied fruit. We also add about 4 ounces of candied lemon peel. If you had orange peel or something like that, that would also work good. 8 ounces of raisins. Final ingredient, 1/3 cup of dark spiced rum. Mix well to combine. Begin with 2 cups of powdered sugar in a medium bowl. To that, add 1 cup ground almonds, also known as almond flour. Mix to combine. For the liquid ingredients, 2 tablespoons of water and 1 teaspoon of almond extract. Mix all this up well.
Wade has already done the marzipan, and he's soaking the fruit, which is raisins and mixed fruit, candied fruit, in some spiced rum, which is dark rum. In here, I'm going to start the bread. It says to proof, which we did last week, our yeast, 1 tablespoon of yeast, and 2 tablespoons of part of the sugar that we're going to be doing in our Stollen. And now the wind has kicked off.
This was in 1 cup of
warm milk.
Yeah.
So we're going to mix that up. And it says to let it stand 5 to 10 minutes, right?
Or 10 to 15 minutes.
10 to 15 minutes. We're going to take it back in because it's just cool enough out here to stun it. Okay, now, I want you to look at this, Wade. See how poofy that is?
Mm-hmm. To get it in the out of the sun. There we go.
That's working. All right, now, I've got here 4 cups of flour. Can you take that for me, honey?
Mm-hmm.
To this, I'm going to add, oop, that's nutmeg, Angel. Read before you do it. A teaspoon of cinnamon. And I'm putting this, I'm going against the recipe just a little bit here because I think these spices need to be real good and mixed up as I powder away with some cinnamon.
It's all right. I like the smell of it.
And then cardamom, and we should open that. Which I don't really know what cardamom smells like. Kind of a different smell.
Don't use it very much, do we?
No, we don't. That's 1/4 teaspoon. That'd be 1/2. And, oh yeah, that's it. 1/2 teaspoon of cardamom. And 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, which our friend Anna doesn't particularly care for nutmeg, so I don't know if she puts that in her stolon or not. Now, it says a pinch of salt, doesn't it?
No. 1/2 teaspoon.
1/2 teaspoon?
Or a teaspoon, one of them two.
Well, we got butter.
Salted butter, so yeah, I've got to go 1/2 then.
I'll put that in there. Okay. I'm going to mix this up a little bit. Get my spices well incorporated. Okay, now I'm going to put my lemon zest in and mix it up too.
That was 1 lemon zested.
I tell you, that can make your house smell so good, just this sheer lemon.
Oh yeah, we haven't done that for very much in our cooking career, but if you're going to cook with something that you want lemon flavor, any type of stuff, lemon bars or whatever, go the extra step and zest your lemon.
Okay, now I'm going to add the wet ingredients. I'm going to start with my sugar. And yes, that is a wet ingredient.
I think it was 1/2 cup of sugar, wasn't
Yeah, it was a 1/2 cup.
poured
and
out
we
2
took out 2
tablespoons.
tablespoons.
Yeah.
Which are now going right back in here. And I'm going to stir this a little bit since my yeast has whooped it up.
Yep, doing its thing.
Then I'm going to add my 1 whole egg. And then I'm going to add
Fun part.
Yeah, well, it's not terrible.
No.
I just used the lid of my...
And this doesn't have to be perfect because we're not trying to whip up egg whites for this recipe.
It calls for 1 whole egg and 2 egg yolks.
In case you haven't noticed, we have never made this before, so it's another
Actually,
first time.
I made one
a number of years ago,
a
didn't you?
number of years ago,
Yeah.
but it wasn't this particular recipe, and it didn't really come out all that well.
So we're hoping for
And then
better
I need to add
results.
my butter,
This is 1 1/2 sticks.
and it's pretty
Yep.
slimy.
Yeah. Room temperature.
Real, not no imagination here. Or,
Yeah, no.
not
Imitation.
imitation, not imagination.
Yep. Another one of them recipes like your breads and your cookies and things that you really need to be using real butter to make it, give it that flavor you really want.
Now this, just like them other ones, here in a minute I'm going to have to get in here and really knead it.
It is a yeast bread.
Yeah, it is. And I'm to that point now. So glad I got my cast off.
I bet. And your doctor cleared you this week, right, on your
Oh yeah, cleared
no
me last
needing
week.
of weight limits and things like that.
Well, if it hurts, don't do it. What she told me.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, just fold it all in. Or knead it. It's kind of like folding in, but it's kneading officially.
Now, this is a very sweet bread, so it doesn't raise too fast. Kind of like them China doorknob dinner rolls I made that one year for Thanksgiving. Put too much sugar in it. Remember that?
Yeah.
Me and Grandma Wood both made. For different reasons, China doorknobs.
I think that year Grandma's yeast might have died, or she had.
Probably had the.
I think she
water
had
too
old
hot.
yeast that she had kept through that year, and she wanted to use it and didn't even think about the date on it or something. I don't remember. It's been
Well, back
long
in
time
them
ago.
days, they didn't have dates on everything.
It's true. It was in little packets.
That happened in our lifetime, I think. Now this is a little sticky.
It is. We may have to, like any yeast bread, you may have to add just a little bit more flour, you think?
Well, no, not right now.
Not
We're
right
gonna
now.
let
Wait
it-
until after the first rise.
See what it's like after the first
Okay.
rising. Get most of this off my fingers.
And that's true for almost any kind of a bread you may be making. It just, you may have to play a little bit with the wet or dry ingredients to get it
All
the way
right.
you want.
So now we're going to go put a little oil on top of this and let it do its thing. So when we're ready to roll it out and finish it, we'll be back. Wait, look at this. It is almost double now. It's an optical illusion to us because we're used to doing rolls for like Thanksgiving, and this whole thing is full. This is double. So, and with it being a sweet roll, it's a little denser. Or sweet bread, rather. Punching it down. Now, in here, Wade put our candied fruit, not candy that's fruit flavored, candied fruit, and nuts. Now, he did this while we were poofing this, so if you look, there isn't any liquid left in that.
Yeah, they said if there was liquid, you kind of pour that off.
Dump it out.
You don't want to add that to your dough.
I'm going to do this a little bit at a time. Put it directly in there. And I'm mixing it in, kneading it in.
So it's probably good that it's just a little bit wet, wasn't it?
Yes.
At
Now
that
they
point
did
when we
say if
made
it's too sticky, you can use some bench flour.
Yeah.
But it's not terribly sticky.
No, it's
See,
not
it's
bad
not
at
sticking
all.
my hands at all.
Perfect, isn't it?
Part of that is there's an awful lot of butter in this.
So this is basically, it's kind of like a German fruitcake. It's basically
is a
what it
fruitcake.
is, you know. So it's kind of a lot different than some of the traditional fruitcakes that you see that get a bad rap.
Well, they're so inundated with the alcohol. I think whiskey is it, isn't it? Bourbon?
Yeah, I think different ones have different. Some of them may have rum
Cognac.
in it.
And those will last for months and months. Now, this is getting kind of tough to knead up. Now, I'm going to divide this as much in half as I can. And it is just a wee bit sticky. So, I'm going to put in some nice bench flour. And lay it out. Now it said push or roll out to an inch thickness. Now,
The fun part with that.
in here, Wade has made a candy called marzipan.
It dried out more than I thought it would too, didn't it?
Yeah, it did a little bit, but that's all right. It's fine.
not gonna hurt
No,
anything.
it's not.
Now, fun part, yeah, fold it over 2/3 of the way to try to cover up the marzipan halfway. It's kind of weird. And the other gets folded over top of that.
And it says to take off any raisins that are truly sticking up so they don't burn.
Yeah.
Gonna make sure the raisins are in there. So, dear, what do you think?
I think we go right here and push that down like that, like it said, to give it its traditional shape. And I think that looks like, now that's one out of the two
Right.
breads that we're going to
So
make.
we're gonna let this raise for an hour, isn't it, or half
Well, it's
hour?
half hour to an hour. It said,
Okay.
I don't know for sure. We'll
And
find
then-
out for sure when we come back.
And then
so.
we'll come back and we'll show you how we're baking it. Okay, what are we doing now, hon?
All right, we have preheated our Dutch oven for about 10 minutes. Actually, this is not Dutch oven. We're using the Cook It All again. So we used the traditional 40 pieces of charcoal total. We did 15 on the bottom, all around the outside edge, and the rest on top. Just like we would if we were baking in a regular Dutch
Wait,
oven.
before you do that, blow that off. There's some ashes inside there. That's good.
Okay. All right, as you can see, looks pretty good, doesn't it, Angel?
Yes, it does. Looky there.
So, we put it on parchment paper for ease, hopefully, of moving. Make sure it's in the center so that the lid does not hit on the edges right here. Looks like we're pretty close to the center. Okay. And the lid back on. Now, this says 30 to 40 minute cook time at about 350 degrees. So, we're going to go ahead, and since the bottom is kind of hard to rotate, we're going to take a chance and not rotate the bottom, but we're just going to rotate the top. Probably just do it one time at about 15 minutes, and then we'll finish baking it the rest of the way that way, and hopefully that'll distribute the heat good enough so we'll have a even cook when we get done. So we'll see you back here in just a little bit.
Okay, it's been 30 minutes. Oh, it opened up just a little bit. It's done. I can tell by looking at it.
I think it is. And interesting thing, I've never had them do this with bread. They say you can take a meat probe and probe it in the center to 190 degrees. Doesn't say 190 degrees.
So we're gonna do the next steps. Let this cool for a minute. We'll be right back.
All right, be right back.
Okay, now that we're gonna take this off.
Oh, there's a little bit of ash there.
Come
Okay.
over here.
Now, it says to spin it only a few minutes, still hot, poke holes all over the top. Use a half a cup, no, excuse me, half a stick of butter, which is a quarter of a cup, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Melted butter, and we brush it all over the top of this. Okay, and then powdered sugar. Generous amount of powdered sugar all over the top.
I'll tell you what, nothing else, it sure smells good.
I don't know how we're supposed to kind of, unless you leave it and let it shake it off or what, I don't know.
No, you're going to push it down a little bit.
Push it down in there a little bit? Okay.
Because it's smooth on top when you get the ones at the
Yeah.
store.
A little bit around the sides.
Here, up here too.
What do you think? Getting close?
Yeah, let's push it down, then we can always add
Here,
some
you
more.
put some of, pull this edges up and some of it's falling off. Okay, it's looking good.
Now, one thing we're not going to do is we're not going to taste this right now. We're going to come back tomorrow after it's totally cool and taste it.
We're not a daylight now, so.
So, when tomorrow comes, we'll come back after.
All right, see you tomorrow. It's the next day, and our stolen bread has plenty cooled and rested, and we're gonna sample it.
It's pretty.
Yes, it is.
And I will say this one was a whole lot easier to make as I remember than the last one we fixed.
It's an interesting thing I found out about this recipe is it may be one of, if not the most popular of the Christmas fruitcakes in the world. And it's been around probably at least 700 or 800 years when I did the research. Oh, looky there,
Look
hon.
at that. Oh, that's pretty.
That's beautiful.
Yes, it is. We gonna eat the same
Yeah,
piece?
let's cut it and we'll just sample it.
Oh, I didn't even get the marzipan, but boy, is that good. Tastes like it should. Actually, better.
Well, you never had homemade.
Yes, we have one time.
Yeah, one time.
But I swore I'd never make it again because it was quite an undertaking, as I remember.
This recipe wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad at all.
Several steps.
And this one's got better flavor. The dough, the bread
It's
part
good.
does. It's very good.
And now what it says, of course you let it cool completely, but it also said it's real good if you wrap it up tight and put it in a regular room cool place. Didn't necessarily have to have it refrigerated, but just in a cool place. You can keep it for a good 2 weeks and let it all kind of melt together and then take it out and cut it. And it's supposed to be even better. And then you can freeze it for lasting a long time. So, yeah, this is definitely one of the best breads we've made. Probably the best fruitcake I've ever tasted. So it's not like a regular fruitcake that gets a bad name like everyone throws and passes around to everybody that they don't like. But this is definitely a wonderful fruitcake and you should try it.
Now,
So,
when this is going to air is right before Christmas. So,
that's right.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, and a Happy New Year.
That about does it for this weekend getaways. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. You might want to watch some of our other videos. We've done lots of cooking on them. Lots of cooking. Share us on Facebook or Instagram. What else do they need to do?
Subscribe.
We'll see you next week.
All right, bye everybody.
And that'll be our last in this series, Sweets Around the World.
That's right.